Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm back up here where I've done a couple of videos for white bass, crappie, and a couple of catch and cooks and stuff like that. And I really wish I had got up here sooner, because this is a fairly popular spot, and this being Friday, this is going to get busy later on today. And I really wish I'd got here earlier, because there's somebody where I want to be at. Anyway, we're going to see if we can catch us some white bass, some skipjack, and some crappie, and maybe do a catch and cook, because really I need the videos like bad. Like, I've been off of YouTube for about a week now because of a foot injury. I don't know if I got bit by something or what. Foot swelled up, couldn't walk on it. So I'm finally to where I can get around. So I've got to get caught up on videos real bad. Let's quit yapping and get to fishing. I'm honestly kind of surprised that this parking lot up here ain't as packed as it normally would be on a Friday. I knew it would happen. I wouldn't have my camera on and one would hit. But finally got one on. Dude, what is the deal here? Okay, your hooks are in a really weird position, so you're just gonna have to chill out for a minute. You fought way harder than you should have. I got into his gills a little bit, and I'll have to take a picture somewhere else. But it doesn't matter. Plan on keeping that one and any other white bass that come along today anyway. But yeah, I was honestly debating on just jumping ship and going somewhere else. So I just made a cast without my camera on, and I was thinking, you know what, one's going to hit, and sure enough. Fish. This is a decent fish. Nope. Well, we got hands on it. It was a very spawned out largemouth. Like, that thing was sickly skinny. Well, every time I think about just getting up and going somewhere else, a fish comes along, which would mean that, you know, I would have about 600 fish by now. Alright, well, it seems like everybody and 10 of their cousins are starting to pile in here early this morning, so I'm going to get this one white bass filleted and on some marinade in a Ziploc bag and jump to another spot. I probably need to go get a bag of ice, but I'm not going to waste my money on a bag of ice unless I've got a bunch of fish to put it on. So anyway, we'll see you when we get to the next spot. Alright, spot number 2. I got to watch because straight out in front of me here, there's definitely some snags. But there's also some fish in here. As soon as I walk down here, I can see several swirls. There's still a couple down there. So really ain't no telling what they are. Could be carp, because this is a real shallow spot right here. So there's only one way to find out. Let's cast a line and see what's biting. Hey, did we finally hook up with something? It ain't real big, whatever it is, but that ain't a bad one. Ain't a bad little gill of the blues. Definitely chill, home slice. Get some nastiness all over y'all. But that is about as true of a definition of bluegill as you can get. The colors and really defined blue colors on that gill. get a picture, and get you back. Now, if you were just a little bit bigger, you would have ended up in that cooler. Yeah, it's another. Even these little dinky bluegill feel good on a good ultralight. Like, there's a lot of ultralights out there that are fairly stiff for an ultralight rod, but I think if you get a little bit more money into a ultralight rod, they just feel more true to the action. And this one that I'm using here is the Shimano Sensolite A. It is a 2 to 6 pound rating, 1/32 to 3/16, which 3/16 is a little bit on the steep end for this rod. I don't know how they come up with that one. Ultralight, power, fast, 6 foot 6 inches. And I'm just throwing a little 1/32 ounce Tamora fly tying jig off of Amazon. These things are stupidly good little jigs, and they're cheap. You get like 50 of them for $7 or $8. That was kind of a blind cast, but it paid off. That's another beast of a fish. Kind of disappointed that the first spot that we went to wasn't producing, because it's usually just a stupidly hot bite early in the day. But that wasn't the case this morning. And everybody with a kayak around here decided to start showing up, which I think there's a kayak tournament going on today. So that makes sense. Finally. What is this? Ah, it's one of those little bastards that have been aggravating me all morning. Big old gold shiner. They're a fun fight, but they're aggravating when you're trying to catch anything else, because they're like the mosquito of the waters. Down the road to a spot that I've never fished before, but it looks promising, and I may have to remember this for some catfishing and stuff, because this bank looks really good. Oh, there's a that's what's making all those little swirls. Y'all can't see it, but there's probably 60 or 70 little gold shiners right here in front of me. There's a few bluegill mixed in with them, but I just don't want to deal with gold shiners. No, you're a little bit small. You can go back. Chill. That one snuck up from behind a rock and snacked it. He had to snack on it. He's like, it looks... Well, that was a less than graceful release, but it'll work. Jeez. This may be a new PB gold shiner right here. Like, I honestly thought it was a little bass at first, because I seen it kind of chasing some bluegill around. But no. I do have some catfish rods with me that are just buried under 27 other rods that I'm not using. I could have just cut him up and chucked him out there. I want to fish that little point right over there, but there's a bunch of geese over there, so the answer is already no. They told me that through telepathy and other big words. Alright, we are in the last spot of the day, or at least the last spot that I'm going to bother with, because I don't want to drive around all day long. Just a bluegill here and there. I'm going to walk down this bank to a spot where we got into a pretty good pack of bluegill here a couple weeks ago, and hopefully they're still there, because you know I could do for a couple more catches. And since there ain't a whole heck of a lot going on with this video, probably going to be a small little catch and cook on that white bass we caught earlier. One thing's for sure, it's definitely a lot quieter down here than it was the last time I was here. Cicadas are starting to move off or shut up one. Oh, I thought I felt a tap, and I lost it. Hey, is this one gonna stay on? Tell you what, them hoot owls they chatty today. Beast. Ooh, thought I'd ran into some grass, because there's several little patches of grass that are submerged way out there, and it seems like the bluegill are kind of hanging around those little patches. Oh crap, darn it, that was a little bass and I wasn't ready. I wasn't even expecting that to be sitting there. Heck, I didn't even see it. I know there's a little bluegill swirl added a second ago, but I was not expecting that bass. Just how this day has gone. It's been frustrating. I got you that time. Dude, what is wrong with you? Well, I thought about keeping you, but you got something going on there that I don't want nothing to do with. Putting the pliers up. Chill. Pretty red here. Almost looks like it's got its spawning colors, which panfish spawn should be about over with right now, or at least by now. Maybe if we can get one or two more fish, we can salvage this little video, because I really do not want to scrap this one. Got you. Feels pretty good, and now it's getting into all that grass in between me and where it was at. Jeez. Just a slob of a bluegill. You would be very much so an eater size, but I didn't bring my cooler down here with me because the way today is gone, I haven't exactly had high expectations for anywhere that I've stopped. But fun catch nonetheless. We're just going to give this spot a couple of more minutes and then we're going to call our quits. And that seems to be the end of that. Well, I am officially calling it. That is a tangled mess, but I'll deal with it later. It's hot. I haven't had any breakfast or coffee. I'm pretty sure those ain't supposed to be back here. At least, not at this current time, cause deer season's been over with for a while. Well, these are pistol rounds, but still, 357 Magnum Federal hollow points. Well, those are coming out of there. Well, we caught fish and that's all that matters, but when you are trying to uphold a schedule and you're not able to fish for a week or more, it's kind of frustrating when you drive to a spot that you've got confidence in and it doesn't produce. Of course, if I had been able to get to where I wanted to be on that bank earlier, I probably would have caught quite a few more fish, because there was a lot of them just busting around that bank, just because, like I said, that bank where we were fishing at the beginning is a wind-blown bank, and the shad just could get pushed up against that bank, and they were just busting on them the whole morning. And it's just not where I could reach. And there were people already there that could, so I didn't want to get in on top of them. Plus, there was a bunch of kayaks coming in because there's a tournament thing this weekend. But anyway, we caught fish. We caught one that's going to end up getting fried. And I will see y'all back at the house for that part. Alright, y'all, it's a couple of days later, actually, because as soon as I got home, I kind of sort of just crashed on the couch and forgot about the fish in the fridge. And the next day, it rained. Anyway, I'm going to get on with a little catch and cook portion of this. Now, instead of using the Cholula Chipotle that I usually use, marinades or whatever, I used the Louisiana Crystal hot sauce. So they've been marinating for about 2 days now, so we're going to get this stuff in some grease and see how they turn out. Alright, I'm sitting on a little bit of an unlevel surface here, so just using a pouch from one of the other burners to level that thing out. So we're going to take our thing here, make sure everything's tightened up. You're gonna have a little bit kind of leak out like that, but it'll be all right. Anyway, what I am going to do is take these little fillets, there's only 2 of them, so there's not a whole heck of a lot to work with there, and put them in the rest of this Whisker Seeker original seasoning, just because I want to get that over with and get the better, spicier Whisker Seeker used up. Alright, that's all good and shook up. Let's get our little pan here. Get some Earl in there. Actually, I need to get some more. One of these little bottles like this right here, any brand about that size, is going to last you about 2, maybe 3 catch and cooks, depending on how much you use. There we go, got some heat going. Now, you gotta let that heat up a little bit. And it don't seem like it's going to take too long, because that is a pretty intense flame right off the bat. I should have used something a little bit thicker, which hot sauce works fine as a binder, but the thicker the stuff is that you use to marinate with, the better of a binder it'll be. Not quite ready just yet, but mustard makes a really good binder. Thicker hot sauces make a really good binder. I mean, anything can work as a binder, but the thinner it is, the less your breading is going to stick to it. Even barbecue sauce. Now, a bunch of y'all dropped suggestions in the previous little catch and cook video, which this one I'm going to make an exception to add to the video, because the video was already kind of lackluster in my opinion, so I figured why not. And don't really have a lot of fish to work with, so won't include this into a full-length video, but y'all made a lot of suggestions in the last catch and cook that I did on a Saturday about using cornmeal and a bunch of other stuff for marinades and binders, which were actually sounded really freaking good. Even one person suggested Cheez-Its and spicy Cheetos, which sound even freaking better. So I am definitely going to try those little recipes out eventually. I would say that is ready to go. I got a pretty good coating of the Whisker Seeker on there. I know you're supposed to dip it in there away from you. Alright, we're going to see just about how crispy these things are. Pretty good. Now, we'll let them go for a little bit longer on this side because it's still a little bit off kilter, so it's cooler on this side than it is the shallower side. And again, like last time, drop your favorite marinades, or well, not your like secret kind of favorite ones, but your favorite marinade and binder type stuff and your breadings in the comments. I'll have some ideas for the next time. The cornmeal and especially the Cheetos and spicy Cheez-Its and all that, that one actually sounded really, really good. And I've got some cornmeal in there that I thought about doing with these, but it was like the honey cornmeal, and I don't know, I mean, I like honey cornmeal, but I don't know, it just didn't sound right. So maybe next time. So when I go out to replenish some of my like oil and stuff like that, I'm gonna get a small bag of cornmeal to keep in there to kind of have some different options. Maybe do a side-by-side taste test of using cornmeal versus something else. All right, I moved the bigger piece that was over here on the deeper side over to this side, and you can already tell that it has twisted up a lot better. So we're gonna give her a little bit of a flip. Oh yeah. I put too much oil in there, and this is being off kilter, kind of hurt the, you know, heat there. All right, I believe those are good and dead. All right, these things have finally kind of cooled down to where we can actually handle them. Came out a little bit crispier than I wanted, but that ain't a bad thing. I like a little bit of crunch. So it's a white bass marinated in Louisiana Crystal and Whisker Seeker Original. There's a little bit more of a zing there, which Whisker Seeker Original, it's good, but I don't really like it as much as the Cajun because the original definitely has a saltier like flavor to it, and it kind of overpowers that hot sauce, but it's not bad. Yeah, that definitely has a saltier flavor to it, which a lot of people like that saltier flavor in their fish and meats and stuff like that. Me, not so much. Finally, we got this Whisker Seeker Original used up. Next time it's going to be the Cajun, which has a completely different flavor. It's not as salty. In my opinion, it's a little bit sweeter and definitely has more kick to it than the original. And once I get over using that, I'm going to something that's got some more kick to it, because I definitely like a spicier flavor, like I would say 60-40 heat to flavor. A little bit more heat than flavor, but a, you know, kind of nice balance. Okay, that one there, the bigger fillet, or bigger piece, not as crunchy as the smaller one, and you could definitely taste a lot more of that Louisiana Crystal hot sauce. But white bass, I don't know if y'all can tell, it's good flaky white meat. That one actually came out a lot better. It didn't have that real strong salty flavor. Same thing. That one, it may have just because there was a little bit more breading on it, but it didn't have as much of that hot sauce flavor. Anyway, I'm going to finish this up. Hope you liked the video. Look forward to the Saturday uploads, which is going to be the main portion of Catch and Cooks, or well, the cook portion of Catch and Cooks, just to have a little extra content on the channel. And again, hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.